Bible verses about lying. 25 Bible verses about lying. List, verse and description. Lying. Bible verses about lying. Proverbs 12:22. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who act faithfully are his delight. This verse reminds us that God hates dishonesty and detests lies. Proverbs 19:9. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who utters lies will not escape. This verse warns us of the consequences of lying. Leviticus 19:11. You shall not steal, nor deal falsely, nor lie to one another. This verse reminds us that lying is a form of stealing and should be avoided. Proverbs 10:31. The mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the perverse tongue will be cut off. This verse tells us that wisdom is found in truth, not lies. Proverbs 6:16-19. There are 6 things which the Lord hates, 7 which are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that run rapidly to evil, a false witness who utters lies, and one who spreads strife among brothers. This long list of abominations includes lying. Colossians 3:9. Do not lie to one another, since you laid aside the old self with its evil practices. This verse reminds us that lying is a part of our old ways that we should lay aside. Proverbs 14:5. A faithful witness does not lie, but a false witness utters lies. This verse reminds us that truth does not lie and that lies are always false. Ephesians 4:25. Therefore, laying aside falsehood, speak truth, each one of you, with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. This verse tells us to speak the truth and not to lie to each other. Isaiah 59:3. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies, your tongue mutters wickedness. This verse reminds us that lying is a form of wickedness. Exodus 20:16. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. This verse reminds us that lying about someone else is wrong. Proverbs 21:6. The acquisition of treasures by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor, the pursuit of death. This verse tells us that the rewards of lying are fleeting and even deadly. Proverbs 17:4. An evildoer listens to wicked lips, a liar pays attention to a destructive tongue. This verse reminds us that liars gravitate towards other liars. Proverbs 19:5. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies will not escape. This verse warns us that lies have consequences. Psalm 101:7. He who practices deceit shall not dwell within my house. He who speaks falsehood shall not maintain his position before me. This verse tells us that God will not tolerate deceit and lies. Proverbs 26:28. A lying tongue hates those it crushes, and a flattering mouth works ruin. This verse tells us that lies cause destruction and ruin. Proverbs 26:18-19. Like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death is the man who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. This verse warns us that lies often have serious and unintended consequences. 1 Thessalonians 4:6. And that no one transgress and defraud his brother in the matter, because the Lord is the avenger in all these things, just as we also told you before and solemnly warned you. This verse reminds us that God will judge those who lie and deceive others. Proverbs 14:25. A truthful witness saves lives, but one who utters lies is a betrayer. This verse tells us that lies can lead to destruction and death. Proverbs 19:1. Better is a poor man who walks in his integrity than he who is perverse in speech and is a fool. This verse tells us that it is better to be honest than to lie and be a fool. Proverbs 24:28. Do not be a witness against your neighbor without cause, and do not deceive with your lips. This verse reminds us that it is wrong to lie about someone else. Revelation 21:8. But for the cowardly and unbelieving and abominable and murderers and immoral persons and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars, their part will be in the lake that burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. This verse reminds us that God will punish liars in the afterlife. Psalm 101:7. No one who practices deceit will dwell in my house. No one who speaks falsely will stand in my presence. This verse tells us that God will not tolerate deceit and lies. Proverbs 10:18. He who conceals hatred has lying lips, and he who spreads slander is a fool. This verse reminds us that lies often lead to hatred and slander. Proverbs 17:7. Excellent speech is not fitting for a fool, much less lying lips to a prince. This verse tells us that liars will not be respected, even by those in power. Matthew 5:37. But let your statement be, yes, yes, or no, no. Anything beyond these is of evil. This verse tells us that it is better to tell the truth than to tell a lie. What does the Bible say about lying to your spouse? Lies, lie, Bible, liars, PDF, quiz, Bible verses, unique facts, father, grandfather, minister, missionary, deacon, elder, author. Welcome to our family. View all posts.